This is All India Radio. The news read by Punita Bakshi. ISRO's Master Control Facility at Hassan in Karnataka has assumed the control of IR-NSS-1A navigation satellite after its successful launch from Sriharikota yesterday night. The ISRO sources say that in the coming days, 5 orbit maneuvers will be conducted from Master Control Facility to position the satellite in its geosynchronous circular orbit at 55 degrees east longitude. After injection, the solar panels of IR-NSS-1A were deployed automatically. IR-NSS-1A is the first of the 7 satellites constituting the space segment of the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, useful for civil aviation purpose. A number of ground stations responsible for the generation and transmission of navigation parameters, satellite control, satellite ranging and monitoring have been established in 15 locations across the country. The entire IR-NSS constellation of 7 satellites is planned to be completed by 2015-2016. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh has congratulated Department of Space and Indian Space Research Organisation for the successful launch of IR-NSS-1A satellite. Dr. Singh described the successful launch as an important milestone in the development of India's space program. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said the satellite is the first in a series which will give India its own space-based navigation system. The Uttarakhand government has decided to set up a rehabilitation and reconstruction authority to develop the areas which have been destroyed by the recent flash floods. The decision to this effect was taken at the state cabinet meeting held in Dehradun yesterday. The centre has said that funds will not be a constraint for rebuilding Uttarakhand, which recently witnessed the worst ever floods. Meanwhile, most of the pilgrims stranded at Badrinath have been evacuated. The State Weather Department has forecast heavy rain in many places on the 5th and 6th of this month. The government has said that the remaining stranded people are expected to be evacuated by today evening. About 10 small helicopters have been pressed into service for dropping off food packets and other essential items in the affected areas. In Afghanistan, at least 6 persons died in a suicide attack on the compound of a foreign logistic firm at Pule Charkhi in the capital Kabul this morning. According to the police, suicide bombers blew up their car packed with explosives near the gate of the compound of the foreign firm supplying equipment to the NATO-led international force in Afghanistan early this morning. After the blast, the attackers opened fire on the guards of the compound, killing at least 4 security guards and 2 Afghan civilians. Afghan security forces returned fire, and in the gun battle for nearly 1 hour, all the 4 attackers were killed. Media reports say the Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Reserve Bank of India has directed lenders not to discriminate against their customers and follow a uniform, fair and transparent pricing policy. In a directive, RBI said that banks should not discriminate between their customers at home branch and non-home branches under the Core Banking Solutions platform. RBI said intersol charges were not uniform across home and non-home branches, and this practice by some banks was contrary to the spirit of its guidelines on reasonableness of bank charges. Intersol charges are the charges levied by banks on their customers for products and services. The government has decided to cover 339 of around 620 districts by March next year by a system under which government services can be accessed through instruments like mobile phones. The decision was taken at a meeting chaired by Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh yesterday to discuss provision of government services at district and sub-district levels to citizens in electronic mode across the country. India will clash with Sri Lanka today in their second one-day international of the Tri-Nation Cricket Series taking place in the West Indies. The match will be played in Kingston, Jamaica. All India Radio will broadcast a live commentary on today's cricket match. And that is the end of this news bulletin.